An extra $50 off with financing. Les Schwab Tires.
Bring the whole family up to Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house in historic downtown Chelan. Applewood smoked brisket, street-style tacos, and our award-winning barbecue rubs and sauces. Our meals pair perfectly with our exciting lineup of craft ales, made right here in Chelan. We've got room for big groups, or give us a call for catering. So grab the kids and check out the fun at Stormy Mountain Brewing and local public house located in the heart of Chelan.
At Washington Trust Bank, can't is a four-letter word.
I think we should hire more people.
Doc, late for a meeting.
Hey, we need to build a home office.
We're adding another bathroom.
We need a warehouse.
I can't imagine how we do that.
We believe you can do whatever you
And we are back after a extended weekend, a 3-day weekend. We have returned. It is Tuesday, and I got to get that in my head. It's Tuesday, not Monday. 30th day of May, 2023. I am Dan Kuntz, your host for Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. 61 degrees. A little bit of a cool down over the next couple of days. A weak cold front's going to come in and then come out. By the time we get to Friday, we'll be right back up into the mid-80s, and we'll be kissing 90 into the weekend. It's been an abnormally warm May and June. Is going to start out warm. I got your weather forecast and a couple of interesting weather statistics to throw your way in the not too distant future. And we'll do the news and sports. Aaron Judge went over the wall 3 times yesterday for the Yankees. 2 of them were home runs. Third time he went over the wall, he stole a home run. Highlights of the Yankees and the Mariners. Of course, the Spring Sports Championship weekend has come to an end. We'll let you know how the local teams and athletes did when we get to sports and in the back half of the program. It's in the news again. You probably heard about this. They're going to start doing this program up in the Lake Chelan area. It's all about invasive species, things that aren't supposed to be here that get here, and then they get a toehold and they can wreak havoc on the species that are supposed to be here. And up at Lake Chelan, of course, they're going to ask people before they put their boat in the water to clean it, because you can put your boat in one body of water, an invasive species can attach to the propeller or the hull, stays there, and then you put it into another area that doesn't used to having those things there, and it can wreak havoc. It's a fascinating film from our friends at TVW, their field report on the Invasive Species Council, the group of people who try to make sure that the bugs and various things that aren't supposed to be here don't get here. We'll have that for you in the back half of the program. Beautiful morning. A little breezy, but nothing we can't handle. Let's go ahead and take our tour around the valley. We'll begin, of course, with the Wenatchee Heights camera. We didn't preview the cameras like I normally do. That's my bad. We were busy getting caught up this morning. Columbia River still running very high. That's to be expected, of course, this time of the year. The average high temp for the month of May, 78. That is very warm. It's about 9 degrees above normal for our average high temperature. We've had 20 days so far that's gone down. Of the 29 days in the month that's come and gone, 20 of those 29 days, our daily high temperature was above normal, and we broke some records in the middle of the month as well. So that is really, really crazy. It's been a warm May, and it's going to stay that way right through the week. Good morning to the Wenatchee Valley. Camera 2, don't know. Well, that's pretty simple. That's the Aranda Rock camera as we look at Lake Aniat and on down the line. Almost all the snow now is pretty much gone from Mission Ridge. They had a lot of snow, of course, which means they had one of the longest seasons on record at the Mission Ridge Ski and Board Resort. Even though we've had very warm weather, they had so much snow, it's still not all the way gone. It's mostly gone. You can see Mission Ridge way off into the distance, and a little sliver of Rocky Reach Dam on the right-hand side of your screen. Camera number 3. Ooh, that's got to be the monitor camera. That's the monitor camera looking down at Monitor and all the orchards. It's supposed to be a good year for cherries, I'm told. I don't know. I'm not a cherry grower. That's just what I've been told. Good morning to Cashmere and the Upper Valley, and still a little snow up in the very peaks of the enchantments and the Cascades from our monitor camera, looking almost due west. And camera number 4. I like guessing it. Oh, beautiful shot of Lake Wenatchee. Just gorgeous. How are the mosquitoes up there, folks? I don't know. I'm assuming that Lake Wenatchee and especially Fish Lake can be a real mosquito haven this time of the year. There's still a lot of standing water, and that's where the mosquitoes get their jobs done. All the snow's now gone from Dirty Face, but as you can see, still some snow in some locations as we look out over the Lake Wenatchee area. As placid as it could be, a gorgeous place. Any time of the year, really, even in the dead of winter. Lake Wenatchee is beautiful. A couple of slides to show for you. We're going to have a warming trend. We're going to cool down today. We'll be, upper 80s, upper 70s, lower 80s today. Slightly cooler as a cool front comes in throughout the course of the day today. So it's still above normal, but it's fairly comfortable with a high of 78 and 80. And then by the time we get to Friday, we're going to start cooking. There's a big ridge of high pressure that's actually over basically the New England area, and it's going to gradually move to the west. And it's going to settle right over the top of the Wenatchee Valley by the time we get to Saturday. So we are looking very warm to say goodbye to May and into June. The next couple of days, you might be able to give your air conditioner a break. But the bottom line is we're in for a warming trend. And the long-term outlook, they posted this yesterday. This is for June 6th through the 12th. And as you can see, we have a 70 to 80% chance of above average temperatures and about a 40% chance of above average precipitation. So it's probably going to be drier than normal and certainly warmer than normal as this next ridge of high pressure is going to become well entrenched. It could stick around for a good 7, 8, 9 days. So get ready for more warm temperatures after a very, very warm May. We'll wrap up May when we get to Thursday of this week, because it'll be June 1st from the National Weather Service. Here we go. A little on the breezy side today. A west wind about 7 to 13 miles an hour as the cold front begins to work its way in. We'll top off at 81 degrees. Clear tonight. The wind's going to pick up in intensity, will not be dying down. We'll get down to about 50 for the overnight low. We could see gusts up to 30 miles an hour tonight. Quite windy on Wednesday. It's going to be windier tomorrow than it is going to be today, and a little bit cooler as the cold front comes in, high of 78. It'll be still hanging around Thursday for the first day of June. Lots of sunshine, high of about 80. Not as much wind. In fact, it looks kind of nice on Thursday. And then here comes the heat up to 84 on Friday, near 90 on Saturday, into the 90s we go on Sunday, mid-90s on Monday, and the long-term forecast, as you just saw, calls for temperatures in the 90s starting on Sunday and quite possibly for a good solid week after that. May has been warm, unseasonably warm. June is going to start out hot, I guess is the best way to put it. That's your forecast. After a 2-minute break, we'll have your news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain, so come join the party.
Hey, welcome back to Save Mart. What can we help you find today?
We're looking for a mattress.
Oh, right this way. We got a large selection. We have this pillow top here.
Oh, comfortable.
We have more to choose from down here.
Oh.
I think I have the perfect one over here for you.
I guess we'll take this one.
You'll find it at Save Mart. Full service at a low, low price.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Lots of sunshine, a little windy, 61 degrees, right around 80 or so with some wind today and tonight. And Wednesday dies down Wednesday night. We start warming up Thursday, and then we get just plain hot. By the time Friday rolls around, it's 9 minutes after the hour. 3 men in a pickup truck stole a dog for the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society on Thursday afternoon, but the pup, named Harvey, was returned to the Animal Welfare Agency 1 day later. Humane Society officers say the suspects took the 2-year-old Boxer Bulldog mix during a pre-adoption visit to their offices. They drove away with the dog in a single cab pickup at about 4:48 on Thursday. The Humane Society put out word of the theft, and Harvey was returned to the shelter late Friday. Director James Pumphrey says that's a good thing. Harvey is a special needs animal who currently is receiving medication. No word yet on whether anybody is going to be arrested or charged in that dog napping. Chelan County Sheriff's deputies are warning there's another scam going around aimed at local residents. They impersonate law enforcement and they ask victims to turn over money. The Sheriff's Office says the telephone scam making the rounds involves a caller impersonating an active deputy, addressing the victims by name, and then telling them they need to make a payment for a missed court date by activating a gift debit card. Now, the Sheriff's Office does not collect court fees and they do not take gift card payments. Deputies are warning residents to stay alert and report scam calls of this kind to your local police agency. The leader of the U.S. Forest Service visited the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest last week to hear from local agencies involved in preventing wildfire. Chief Randy Moore was on hand in Plain on Tuesday for the 10th anniversary of the North Central Washington Forest Health Collaborative. That's a collection of partner agencies dedicated to forest restoration. The group is advocating for the Upper Wenatchee Pocket Project. That's a restoration plan that would treat 75,000 acres of forest to reduce hazardous fuels in and around the Lake Wenatchee area, Plain, and Leavenworth. Leaders, including Chelan County commissioners, forestry companies, and tribal representatives, attended the event. It was held at the Mountain Springs Lodge in Plain. The community garden at the intersection of Okanagan and Yakima Streets is officially open for business. They held the ribbon-cutting ceremony on Thursday. Representatives from the city said a few words, and they joined the few gardeners who got right to work right after the ribbon cutting. The garden beds were quickly reserved, and of the 50 plots, the last we checked, just one was left at the time of the opening. We caught up with City of Wenatchee Parks, Recreation, and Cultural Services Director Dave Erickson to talk about how this project came to be.
The city acquired this property, well, we owned it for a long time, but it turned into a park property back in 2017. And so what we did is a community outreach effort where we asked the residents of Wenatchee, what would you like to see in this spot? Through that process, we came up with about 8 different master plans for the property. And through the narrowing down process, a community garden sort of came to the top. And so from that time, then we've just been waiting for budget approval to move ahead with it. Last year, we got authority to do the first phase and built the fence and some of the outside landscaping. And then this year, we got budget approval to finish it up. And so that's everything else. What you see behind me is the fence and the sidewalk and the garden beds and all that good stuff. You know, the goal is to turn a spot in the city that was not really productive or being used for anything and turn it into something that was productive that would really serve the residents of the area. So this garden not only serves just the local neighborhood here, but then also those apartment folks that, you know, you've seen a lot of apartments growing in Wenatchee, and so this will also help those people that would like to garden as well.
Wenatchee Mayor Frank Kuntz signed the city proclamation on Thursday night declaring Pride Month for the month of June, celebrating Wenatchee's LGBTQ population. The annual Wenatchee Pride celebration, by the way, takes place this Saturday, June 3rd at Memorial Park. Festivities get underway at 11 a.m. And that same day, this Saturday, Wenatchee City Hall building on Yakima Street will show off its Pride colors.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate this. You know, every year we get these and I'm just like, nice. You know, it's really great to see y'all here and to see this and know that for a fact Wenatchee is taking monumental strides in creating an equal opportunity for all people.
I want to thank each and every single one of you individually for this proclamation. I think now more than ever this is incredibly important to stand by us, to uplift us, and be allies. And I think it speaks volumes that the city of Wenatchee is willing to do that for us.
And visitors to the Eastmont Community Park have a brand new fitness option. The Eastmont Metro Parks and Recreation Department has added that. It's an outdoor gym. It's just outside the Aquatic Center. It's a 7-station gym and has all the gear and the instructions you'll need for a quick workout. That gym was officially completed a couple of days ago after installation by a private contractor. The department says it plans to schedule a ribbon-cutting ceremony sometime in the next week or so. That's pretty cool. The world's best outdoor gym. They wouldn't lie to us, and that's what's making news. At 1:15, we'll have the news for you. Our evening newscast at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock on television. 5, 6, and 10 right here on this very TV station. But don't forget, you can also watch it if you so desire by going to our YouTube page at around 5 o'clock, our homepage at around 5 o'clock, or our Facebook page right around 5 o'clock. And at the bottom of your screen is how you get a hold of us, and you are more than invited to get a hold of us. When we come back, we wrap up the weekend that was in sports, both professionally and at the high school level. In 2 minutes, you're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
Walkabout Grill, open 7 days a week for lunch and dinner in downtown Wenatchee and now downtown Leavenworth, where eating out is eating healthy.
It's the NCW Life Community Calendar, a presentation of Clean Connection. Memorial Day services will begin on the 29th with proclamations and the laying of wreaths at 9 a.m. at the Wenatchee City Cemetery. The mayors of Wenatchee and East Wenatchee will release the traditional wreath into the Columbia River from the center of the pedestrian bridge at 10, and at 11 the laying of wreaths and ceremonies will occur at Evergreen Memorial Park in East Wenatchee. A flag ceremony will be held at Pybus at noon.
In 1963, Coastal opened its doors. 60 years later, we have you to thank for our continued success, and we're still proud to be just what your country needs.
Today, you'll find everything from pants and boots to fencing, feed, and more. With service from friendly, knowledgeable employees who live the country lifestyle, like you. Join the celebration. Stop by, scan the QR code, or enter online to win big prizes. Visit Coastal today or find us online at coastalcountry.com.
Hey there folks, Blueberry Carrie here to invite you on out to Blueberry Hills to experience some real treats. Take a look at our homemade cream pies, our amazing cheesecakes, and don't forget our famous banana pudding. Remember, we're more than just great treats. People come from all over the world to experience what has been called one of the best destination restaurants in the Pacific Northwest. So come on out and see what all the fuss is about. Blueberry Hills in Manson. It's where the world is coming to it.
17 minutes after the hour, they took 2 or 3 from the Pirates, but yesterday, on Memorial Day, the Yankees came to town, and, well, Aaron Judge was a one-man wrecking crew. Bryce Miller was greeted rudely by the Bronx Bombers. The defending American League MVP went deep twice and robbed Teoscar Hernandez of a dinger.
Drilled deep to left field. That ball is off the pole. A home run. A laser to left field. A 2-run shot by Judge. And the Yankees lead 3-1.
.116, almost 117 miles an hour off the bat.
High drive, left field, going back, Kelnick on the track, at the wall, leaps. That ball is gone. Another home run for Judge. A solo shot. Yankees lead 9-4.
I think Judge is still looking. Did he catch that ball? No, he didn't catch it. It's over the fence. Almost the exact same spot that Judge hit that double off the wall.
High fly ball, deep right. Backing up Judge. He's on the track. He's at the wall. He leaps. And he makes the play. Oh, what a night for Aaron Judge. Took a home run away from Teoscar Hernandez.
Bryce Miller had his worst outing since he joined the big club earlier this year. He allowed 8 runs on 11 hits in just a little less than 5 innings. Manager Scott Service says, hey, it happens.
Yeah, Bryce Miller has been so good for us, and tonight obviously he didn't have his A game, so to speak, and against a fastball hitting team like that, you need to have the A game going. But Bryce, again, locating the fastball was a little bit of an issue, and just didn't have the same life on the fastball that we've seen him have since he's been in the big leagues. Tried to make an adjustment, tried to get into some more off-speed pitches, get his slider going, curveball going. It just was a rough night for him. That's going to happen once in a while. Uncharacteristic stuff, but again, that's the league. It's a really good league, and one of the best players in the league is over there on their team. So it happens. You got to, you learn from it, you grow, you make some adjustments, and get after it next time out.
Mariners and Yankees go at it again tonight on Root Sports Northwest. First pitch, 6:40. So the Mariners fall to 6.5 games back at first place Texas. To the American League West scoreboard we go there. You can see the standings. In yesterday's action, Nathan Eovaldi and 3 relievers combined in a 5-hit shutout. Texas blanks Detroit 5-0. Corey Seager hit a 3-run home run for the Rangers. Ryan Jeffers' 2-run home run, the top of the 10th was the difference. Minnesota topped the Astros in Houston 7-5. The Twins' win came despite a grand slam home run from Jose Altuve. Ryan Noda's 3-run home run helped Oakland snap an 11-game losing streak. The A's actually won. They beat Atlanta 7-2. And Brandon Drury and Matt Theus hit back-to-back 2-out home runs in the first inning. The Angels cruised from there to beat the White Sox in Chicago 6-4. Well, the spring sports season came to an end over the weekend with various state championships for the area high schools. The Brewster baseball team came back and took 3rd at the state 2B tournament in Ephrata. They lost a heartbreaker in the semifinals in extra innings to Tri-Cities Prep, but the Bears took down Tootle Lake 5-2 to take home the 3rd place trophy. It was a one-day affair for Eastmont and Moses Lake at the state 4A softball tournament in the Tri-Cities. They lost their opening game, then the Wildcats and the Mavericks. Both teams met in a loser-out game. Eastmont won that one 5-1, but then the Wildcats were bounced from the tournament by Bothell, losing 10-0. Following a resounding win in its opening game of the state 1A softball tournament, Cashmere lost twice on Friday. To be eliminated, the Bulldogs lost to the eventual champion, Montesano, 13-3, and then to Riverside, 13-6. Okanagan finished 4th at the state 2B softball tournament in Yakima. They had a first round win on Friday, and the Bulldogs lost to Forks on Saturday morning, 12-1, bounced back for a 10-1 win over Northwest Christian, and then they lost the battle for 3rd and 4th place with Acosta. The final was 6-3. Elmira Cooley Heartline softball team, they also took 4th in the 1B tournament. They lost in their opener to DeSales, and the Warriors came back. They won their next 2 games over Darrington and Sunnyside Christian to get into the trophy round. Mossy Rock came out on top of ACH for 3rd and 4th. The final was 17-12. All right, state champions in baseball and softball over the weekend. Lightning and rain changed the finals in Yakima and Ephrata. The 1B baseball title game between Mount Vernon Christian and Nassau was moved to Rec Park right here in Wenatchee on Saturday night. The 2B title between Tri-Cities Prep and Adna was moved to Yakima. The final 2 games of the 1A softball tournament, they had to play those on Sunday because of the bad weather. When it was all said and done, the West Side dominated. They won 10 of 12 state team championships. State tennis championships also settled over the weekend in Seattle, Yakima, and the Tri-Cities. Manson's girls doubles team of Koth and Torgensen placed 2nd in the 1B/2B division. Chelan girls doubles team of Grossberg and Calman were 2nd in the 1A competition. The top placing singles players from our area, Okanagan's Liberty Linklater, who placed 3rd in the 1B/2B division. All right, to the larger schools, track and field competition, Mount Tahoma High School. Moses Lake's Ty Rimple took 2nd in the boys 400 meter. Ephrata's Joshua Green took 2nd in the 200 meter. The Tiger boys won the state championship. And the 4x400 meter relay, the Wenatchee girls took 4th in that same competition. For the smaller schools, congratulations to the state champions. Waterville Mansfield's Abraham Diaz won in the shot put. Okanagan's Sidney Sparks won the triple jump. And Cashmere's Levi McPherson won in the 110 meter hurdles, beating teammate Caden Miller. Other champions from our area in Yakima, track and fields, the small schools, Okanagan's Anthony Wright in the 100 meter dash, Okanagan's Alina Lafferty in the 100 meter dash, Okanagan's Afton Wood in the 400 meter dash, and Cashmere's Caden Miller in the 300 meter hurdles. And finally, Orville's Anthony Wright, a state champion in the 200 meter dash, joining him at the top of the podium, Okanagan's Alina Lafferty in the 200 meter dash, who narrowly beat teammate Afton Wood. Wow, the high school sports season's already over. Hard to believe. Those are just some of the games that people are playing at 24 minutes. After the hour, they say everybody has some creativity in them. I'm not sure about that. Today is National Creativity Day. That's what they say. Everybody has some sort of creative ability. You don't have to be a musician or an artist or a writer to be creative. They say everybody has it. If you don't, you got to figure out what the hell it is. One of the things you can do is try something you've never tried before. Say you've never painted, or you've never written a poem or something like that. Take a crack at it. Maybe you're good at it and you don't know because you've never tried. And this amazing statistic, I thought this was a cliche, but it's true. 3/4 of people surveyed say they have bursts of creativity in the shower. You're in the shower and all of a sudden you come up with a brilliant idea or something along those lines. And by the way, daydreaming is actually good for you, especially if your job is a monotonous job where you have to do the same thing every day over and over and over again. It actually, by daydreaming, it helps focus and sharpen the brain by letting your brain kind of, take off. I'm daydreaming right now. Happy National Creativity Day. Let's move forward at 25 minutes after the hour. Today in history, the very first Indianapolis 500 was run at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Number 1 was held on this date. Things were different back then. The winner was Ray Herron in the Mormon Wasp. That was the name, the Mormon Wasp. He became the first ever winner. Why did they choose 500 miles? Because they figured 500 miles at about 75 miles an hour, which was the average speed back then, they could get the entire race in daylight because there are no lights at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. It's simply too big. So they chose 500 miles because they figured that would be, roughly 6 hours of driving. The average speed for the very first Indianapolis 500, the winner, Ray, he won average speed of about 75 miles an hour. Joseph Newgarden won it on Sunday. His average speed was 168 miles an hour. The fastest average speed for a winner, 200 miles an hour. And back in those days, your mechanic rode with you. There were 2 guys in the car. Maybe they should bring that back. That would make it more interesting. I don't know. I don't find the Indianapolis 500 that exciting. Anyway, the first one was 112 years ago today. Happy 101st birthday to the Lincoln Memorial. It was formally dedicated on this date 101 years ago today, of course, in Washington, D.C. The statue of Lincoln inside the memorial, of course, is open. It was originally going to be closed, and they could have hours, but it's open 24/7, 365. The statue of Lincoln was only supposed to be about 10 feet tall, the famous Lincoln sitting down in the chair, but they realized it would be overwhelmed by the size of the chamber that it sat in, so Lincoln is actually 19 feet tall. And if Lincoln was standing up, he'd be 28 feet tall, and he was a tall guy. Needless to say, most of the prominent African Americans in this country were invited to the ceremony dedicating the Lincoln Memorial 101 years ago today. But when they got there, they were segregated from the white people and were guarded by armed Marines. Washington, D.C. being a segregated city in 1922. A memorial to the great emancipator. By the way, you have to sit over there. 101 years ago today. For Babe Ruth, it was all over. There's the box score. The Boston Braves, Babe Ruth's last team, and the Philadelphia Phillies at the Baker Bowl, first game of a twin bill on Memorial Day, 1935. Babe Ruth makes his last Major League appearance. He was fat, he was 40, he was out of shape, he couldn't run anymore. There was no DH, he had to play the outfield. He grounded out in the first inning, took himself out of the game, didn't play in the second inning, didn't play in the next 2 days, and formally announced his retirement. Babe Ruth grounds out on an infield grounder to the pitcher in his final Major League at bat 88 years ago today. And finally, 75 years ago today, those who were around during the spring of 48 still talk about the Great Flood of 1948. It completely wiped out Vanport, Oregon, which at the time was the second largest city in Oregon. It was where all the workers who worked on the Kaiser shipyards in Portland lived. They created the town. Fortunately, the town was 15 feet below the level of the Columbia River. One of the dikes burst and the entire town of Vanport, Oregon completely disappeared within minutes. It was never rebuilt. Luckily, it was Memorial Day and most of the residents had the day off in Vanport, Oregon, and they left town. And believe it or not, even though 18,000 people lived in Vanport, only 15 people died. The city was complete loss. It's now a golf course. Vanport, Oregon, gone 75 years ago today when the Columbia overfilled its banks And finally, one heavenly birthday. The man of 1,000 voices. Porky Pig, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Tweety, Sylvester, Foghorn Leghorn, the Tasmanian Devil, Barney Rubble, and Dino on the Flintstones. He was Mr. Spacely, George Jetson's boss on the Jetsons, and all kinds of sound effects, worked with every legend there were. Mel Blanc, the man of 1,000 voices, born in the state in 1908, died in 1989 at the age of 81. And what does his tombstone read? That's all, folks. Mel Blanc, born in the state in 1908. It's the bottom of the hour. Mike McNally's got an opinion. And then we're going to play a video that we showed you way back in January. It's fascinating. It's from our friends at TVW. It's a documentary. It's part of their Field Report series. It's about the Invasive Species Council. The folks who are in charge of making sure that things that aren't supposed to be here don't get here and make a toehold. We'll have that for you when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I had had a seizure in the middle of the night, and they rushed me to the hospital and decided to induce labor to try to get the baby out. The outpouring of love and support I got from Confluence Health. My coworkers coming to the ICU to be with me. For me, it's the work family. It's just incredible to have support no matter what I'm going through in my personal life, my own health.
The family at the Epladolin want to help your loved one feel at ease in their new home environment. Epladolin offers beautiful one-bedroom and studio apartments. Residents enjoy 3 delicious home-style meals a day, laundry service, housekeeping service, and encouragement to make themselves cozy in their new home. Epladolin welcomes your family to come and visit their family. Epladolin, independent and assisted living. They make the complicated easy for you. Call today for a tour.
Badger Mountain Brewery is your cure for boredom. Jam Night Mondays. Trivia Wednesdays. Live Music Fridays. And Sunday Brunch. There's always something brewing at Badger Mountain. So come join the party.
It's Click It RV's lowest price guarantee sale going on now at your neighborhood Click It RV.
Be a winner like me and get the Click It RV.
With 0 down and no payments till September, now is the time to own your dream RV.
Get to Click It RV now. Are you going to be mad, bro?
Get never before deep discounts on trailers, fifth wheels, toy haulers, and motorhomes. Plus the best selection, highest trade-in values ever, and a lifetime warranty. Nobody beats the discounts at Click It RV.
I'm Richard Sherman, and we guarantee it.
On Frontage Road.
Happy spring, Wenatchee Valley. The staff at Collins is prepared to style your new spring wardrobe for special events, lunch with girlfriends, traveling in the U.S. or around the world. We have amazing resources from Brighton handbags and jewelry, Joseph Ribkoff, Alex Evening for special occasions, Nick and Zoe, Tribal, Charlie B, Tommy Bahama for your travel and Wenatchee lifestyle. Fab fitting foundations to enhance your new wardrobe, and comfy cute shoes and sandals for every occasion. Collins Fashions, where fun meets fashion in downtown Wenatchee.
Mad Dog McNaughty, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, Western Christianity is focused on personal sin, considering the things that I have done wrong, saying that you're sorry to Jesus, and asking to be forgiven. Well, what about the sin of social injustice? Many of the lessons in the Bible aren't focusing on whether or not you stole a candy bar, told a lie, or said a bad word, but instead, a lot of messages, particularly in the Old Testament minor prophets and the major prophets too, they address things of social injustice. Now, the Old Testament prophets were big on chastising God's people for focusing on themselves and ignoring the poor, the hungry, and society's outcasts. Maybe the church in America should start being more concerned about racial prejudice, economic inequality, and things like whether or not we are a society that cares for the dispossessed, instead of wondering if Jesus is someone's personal Lord and Savior. This is Mike Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
Spring into action and save on stressless seating at Boswell's. Now get $400 off all classic power recliners, signature-based recliners and ottomans, and cross-base recliners and ottomans. And get $400 off most sofas and love seats. Imagine how much you can save building your dream sectional. Shop Boswell's, 2915 Easy Street in Wenatchee.
The Clearwater Saloon and Casino has the best Vegas-style games in East Wenatchee. Come enjoy yourself and discover the nightly action. Win big and meet new friends at the Clearwater Saloon and Casino.
You are ready to earn your BSN degree, and we know you need a special place to take the next step in your career. You are an engaged learner who needs modern labs and equipment, hands-on support, and small class sizes. You're a busy adventurer who needs trees, mountains, rivers, and trails. As a learner, as a future RN, as an adventurer, find it in the BSN program at Wenatchee Valley College.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you're calling on 35 plus years of experience in the Wenatchee Valley. Spending extra time in your home, you may have discovered an unwanted aroma. Stinky feet, pets, who knows what. Call Dick's today about installing their Train Clean Effects electronic air cleaner or a Rheem Halo ultraviolet air purifier. Either way, the air quality in your home will be improved. Proudly servicing all of North Central Washington, call 884-6444 today.
Shoot, I think I left my keys in the kitchen. Can you grab them?
Yep.
Find them?
What's this?
It's a locking bag. It keeps Grandma's medication safe.
But I could just take it.
Well, for one thing, it locks. And if it were gone, I know there's a problem.
Huh. Well played.
Help prevent opioid misuse before it starts. Visit getthefactsrx.com.
The red-spotted newt has been popping up in the area. They don't belong here, and researchers are worried they could harm the ecosystem.
Invasive bugs that aren't supposed to be in Washington, specifically the emerald ash borer, the spotted lanternfly, or the Asian longhorn beetle.
The hits just keep on coming for Asian giant hornets.
The Washington State Department of Agriculture has found a third nest since the species, dubbed the murder hornet, was detected in the U.S. last year.
Invasive species. It's a major concern that hits home to many of Washington's farm and landowners. But thanks to an appointed group of experts, they won't be able to make a home where they don't belong. In this field report, we dive into details. And explore the work of the state's Invasive Species Council. This is Justin Bush.
Invasive species, whether they're plants or animals or pathogens, they don't respect administrative boundaries, so they don't really care if they're on someone's property or another. They typically spread across the landscape.
He heads the state's Invasive Species Council, a group tasked and funded by the legislature to manage and eradicate invasive species, or those that have yet to cause some serious damage to Washington's human, agriculture, and aquatic population.
Our #1 goal is prevention, so to keep invasive species from coming to North America or coming to Washington or spreading within Washington.
In 2006, the legislature created the council to improve how state agencies work together in managing invasive species. Since then, the council has identified hundreds of species found in or near Washington that pose major and costly impacts to the state.
Essentially, we set the compass for all organizations through our statewide strategy. We try to mobilize the whole community, all different partners, to do things in one comprehensive way, because that's the only way we can be effective.
Up until 2006, the state did not have an organized forum that specifically tackled invasive species. Today, the council serves that purpose, coordinating state and regional efforts to prevent any unwanted species from coming into our borders and eradicating those that do.
When we come up with our strategies, we look at the distribution as well as the impacts and what we can do to stop it, and it's kind of a balance.
They focus on leadership and research and come up with mitigation strategies and public outreach, which include campaigns that inform Washingtonians on how to prevent the introduction and spread of these species.
The council is the only place in Washington where we look at the whole problem and look across all agencies that are damaged and have a nexus to this. There's always something you don't expect. There's always a new species, always a new pathway or gap that we identify.
And to prepare themselves for the arrival of new species, they get ahead by implementing new strategies for early detection, as well as a response and eradication plan.
We have new problems. We have Asian giant hornet being introduced to Whatcom County. We have agricultural pests now showing up in the Yakima area, European green crab on the coast, northern pike in the middle of the state. So there are old problems that we're resolving, but there's new problems on the horizon. It's really important that we work together across all types of organizations to be effective.
Senate Bill 5063. The Secretary will read.
During the 2021 legislative session, lawmakers agreed to extend the life and funding of the council until 2032. This allows them to continue the work they've already started.
The title of the bill will be the title of the act.
The council's expiration date has only been extended every 5 years. Senator Jim Honeyford, who sponsored that legislation, explains why this time it's different.
Well, I believe the legislature is a little hesitant to make a permanent agency, another permanent agency, so that's why it has a specified life. If it's doing good work and we see the need, then we will extend it. Well, I believe that there's still work for them to do, and so we need to have them around.
He also believes the work of the council will keep certain invasive species out of our coasts, such as the quagga and zebra mussels, which, he shares, currently pose the greatest threat to Washington's waters.
Those would plug up the turbines on our dams. If they get into our rivers, they'd plug up diversions for municipal water and irrigation water, really create havoc and cost millions and millions of dollars if we don't keep them out.
Bush shares how through the council's work and state funding, they're able to avoid that.
Our Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife has already found over 20 boats that have been infested with invasive mussels just this year. They would have recreational damages, they would have agricultural damages, they would impact water quality in fisheries and habitat, and they also could impact human health through changing the water quality as well. We work with the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. They're doing research as well as planning. We work with the Pacific States Marine Fisheries Commission. They take funding from the federal government and then distribute to the states for watercraft inspections.
And with the recent resurgence of Asian giant hornets in Whatcom County, the council has also been working closely with the State Department of Agriculture.
The Invasive Species Council actually received the very first report and forwarded that on to us. They continue to help us a lot with outreach and education about Asian giant hornets. They're a fantastic partner. They bring us all together so we're all on the same page. We support one another in our efforts for outreach, education, even responses, so that we can have a coordinated and effective response to invasive species. Not every state has that.
Over at Blaine, where the most recent sightings of Asian giant hornets were reported, entomologist Chris Looney is busy at work in training the agency staff on trapping and eradicating the hornets.
Our mission, our goal of trying to prevent exotic pests, either of the ecosystems or human agriculture and human endeavors from establishing, really relies on early detection, like finding them right when they get here, getting to where they are, and figuring out a way to eliminate them.
He says the council helps organize funds and coordinate the work between them and other groups.
A statewide eradication campaign is hard to run. A lot-level eradication campaign can actually occur, and that's where our coordination with the Invasive Species Council, their ability to connect to lots of different Washingtonian lives, really pays off. In particular, their public outreach is really, really beneficial. That's millions of eyes in Washington, on the ground, on their eaves, on the trees.
And that targeted outreach, he says, is where their joint effort with the council proves to be most useful.
One of the things we do specifically that maybe some of the other agencies don't is provide really specific information about insects, insect pests. That's our bailiwick. And then the Washington Invasive Species Council can use that information to help inform and target their activities and the activities of other agencies or the public.
Among the council's public campaigns are Clean, Drain, Dry, where Puddles, the resident mussel-sniffing dog, encourages boat owners to prevent aquatic invasive species from spreading, and Don't Pack a Pest, where the council works with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection to prevent travelers from bringing invasive insects, plants, or pathogens back home. The council has also developed a smartphone app called Washington Invasives, where the public can report sightings and submit photos of what might be invasive species. It also has a digital guide on invasive plants and animals. Years ago, the council discovered feral swine released into the Gifford-Pinchot National Forest. With the help of the phone app and their Squeal on Pigs phone hotline, they were able to receive tips and take quick action.
Through that response of doing the investigation, we found the pigs. Some were lethally removed, others were captured and removed, and then we did monitoring to ensure that we had got them all. The National Forest System is almost like a highway between British Columbia, Washington, and Oregon. So there could have been feral swine really in the heart of the Pacific Northwest.
Thanks to the council's collaboration with the state's Department of Agriculture and the Department of Fish and Wildlife, Washington is currently free of feral swine.
Those pigs are not rooting in our wetlands, they're not rooting along our rivers, which then would make dirt slough off into the water, which would be bad for salmon and other things that we value.
Sometimes the origin of invasive species comes from previously domesticated animals released into the wild. And that, Bush says, is when unwanted pets turn into pests.
It's bad for two reasons. They may not be adapted to our climate and might die a slow death, starving or in the cold in the winter, which is no good. And if they do persist, they might start impacting our wildlife and things that we value, and then we would consider them to be an invasive species. Down in the Columbia River Gorge, they actually found 8 boa constrictors in a city park. Someone is believed to have owned them as pets, no longer wanted them, released them into the city park. Invasive snakes are a huge problem in the Everglades, for example, and they would prey on wildlife, which we definitely wouldn't want in Washington. We've created this campaign called Don't Let It Loose, as well as some resources like an interactive map of pet stores, veterinary clinics, and rescue centers around the state that have volunteered to help rehome unwanted pets.
Controlling invasive species comes at a cost of over $25 million every 2 years. A preemptive effort to avoid what would be a devastating economic loss for the state. Cordgrass, for instance, could cause a deficit of over $48 million to the shellfish industry. Invasive apple maggots, if not controlled, would cost the state over $390 million. While zebra and quagga mussels would impact water infrastructure and recreation at a cost of over $100 million annually. The council is grateful that with the support of the legislature, they'll be able to keep Washington safe for yet another decade.
We now will have 10 years to work together to implement a statewide strategy. And we have been effective because the council has been reauthorized every 5 years to date. It shows the commitment of the legislature and the state to stopping invasive species and preventing invasive species.
And state agencies say it would benefit their research and operations.
Some of these projects take a long time. This hornet business, we will be doing this for at least 3 years from the day we no longer catch any more hornets. That's a difficult time frame to work within if your funding expires it every single year. It provides a lot of security and the ability to execute long-term goals rather than responding to the whims of now.
As for the next 10 years, the legislature is hopeful that the council will be able to keep the state free of the potential harm brought both by existing and upcoming invasive species.
There are always new developments and means of controlling invasive species, and so the council, I believe, keeps on top of that and promoting.
For Field Report, this is Angela Nolasco.
The Wenatchee Valley. Here, most of us really enjoy the great outdoors, and most of us try to make the most of our natural resources. Here at Apple Valley Honda, we know that for generations, we have harnessed nature to sustainably power the West, and we are proud to be part of that tradition as an environmentally green dealership award winner. Being a green dealership means Apple Valley Honda has reduced our overall environmental impact. We are so proud to live in this wonderful community.
At Local Myth Pizza, we believe in real food, freshly prepared with only premium ingredients. Our cheeses are imported from Italy. Our sauces, dressings, and even our sausages are made in-house fresh daily. Featuring Northwest craft beers and 30 Chelan Valley wines and ciders. Family fun and amazing food. Eat local, drink local, and be local at Local Myth Pizza.
Come see why Sunset Magazine says you can't beat Local Myth Pizza.
The newest generation of GMC Sierra pickups offer the most advanced technology, the strongest selection of powertrain, and everything else you need to work hard, play hard, and explore the boundaries of the Wenatchee Valley and beyond. Take a look at the latest, most luxurious and durable trucks on the market.
You will see why GMC is not your grandfather's pickup.
You want to bet, kid?
In 1963, Coastal opened its doors. 60 years later, we have you to thank for our continued success, and we're still proud to be just what your country needs.
Today, you'll find everything from pants and boots to fencing, feed, and more.
with service from friendly, knowledgeable employees who live the country lifestyle, like you. Join the celebration. Stop by, scan the QR code, or enter online to win big prizes. Visit Coastal today or find us online at coastalcountry.com.
63 degrees, lots of sunshine, a little on the breezy side up at Pangbourne right now. The wind is out of the west-northwest at 17 miles an hour. That's really going to be the story for the next couple of days. Going to be a little on the windy side, and we're going to heat right up. Forecast details are coming up, but it's such a beautiful morning, and we have a little time. With that, we do one more little tour around the valley and north central Washington, because people seem to like this segment of the program, so why not do it twice when we can from the tip of Wenatchee Heights. We say good morning to the Wenatchee Valley proper on this beautiful May morning, and it has been a very warm May. We'll talk about that when we come back with the weather forecast, but beautiful view of the valley there. Uriah tells me he's switching the cameras up from what we did an hour ago. Let's see if he did. And he did. That looks to be the Black Mountain camera high above Peshastin. I think we're looking at Leavenworth, which I'm sure was quite busy over Memorial Day weekend. And boy, Lake Chelan was very busy. I was just looking at the 911 police log, and they had a lot of calls, the Chelan County Sheriff's Office did, in the Manson-Chelan area over the weekend. That's part and parcel. When you have Memorial Day and good weather, that is going to happen. Good morning to Leavenworth, camera number 3. Great view from Omi Gardens as we look at Rocky Reach Dam. Doesn't look like they have a lot of gates open right now, even though the Columbia is running very high indeed, but they know what they're doing. Trust me on that. Good morning to our friends in the Baker Flats Industrial Park and Rocky Reach Dam, and finally camera 4. Ooh, look how blue Lake Chelan looks. I want to say maybe that's the Greens Knob camera. Wasn't that long ago that is Greens Knob. Wasn't that long ago we could see snow way up in those upper peaks above the Stehekin area, but that's not the case anymore. Snow's gone, lake is full, water's cold, but they were super busy over the weekend. Now things will calm down until, well, next weekend. And it's going to be a hot one. Complete forecast details are coming your way in 1 minute. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
Merry Maids can clean your entire home, business, or vacation rental from top to bottom, inside and out. Merry Maids will even take care of cleaning your carpets, and they can pressure wash your home. Merry Maids has thousands of happy customers. They've been cleaning homes and businesses in our valley for over 25 years. Check out their glowing reviews at merrymaidesofwenatchee.com and call the cleaning experts, Merry Maids, to get your free estimate. Your satisfaction is guaranteed. So relax, it's done.
All right, just about done from It's Obvious department. There's a warming trend coming our way. Next couple of days is going to be somewhat comfortable, although a little on the windy side, but we're going to warm right back up again. For the month of May, we've had 29 days come and gone. Our average high temperature this month has been 78 degrees. That's about 10 degrees above where it should be. And of the 29 days that have come and gone this month, 20 of those 29 days, our daily high temperature has been above normal. And on top of all of that, very dry. We're about a half an inch less of rain for the month of May than we are supposed to have. It's been a very warm and very dry May, and that's going to continue as we say goodbye to May and welcome June. On Thursday, we have a brief little cold front, a weak cold front, that's going to cool us down and make us a little breezy for the next couple of days. And then we're going to have a big warming trend. There's a big dome of high pressure that is basically over the Lake Erie and the New England area, upstate New York. It's going to gradually push its way westward, which doesn't happen too often. And by the time we get to Friday, it's going to start parking itself over the top of the Pacific Northwest. In fact, check out the long-term outlook that was sent to us yesterday from the National Weather Service. This takes you through June 6th through the 12th, so basically next week. And as you can see, we have a 70 to 80% chance of above average temperatures and only about a 40% chance of above average precipitation. So it's going to be hot and dry as we say goodbye to May and welcome June. No surprise there, but I think we're in for a very long, hot summer. If May is any indication, and the forecast, the long-term outlook for June is any indication, that's exactly what we're going to have. From the National Weather Service in detail, lots of sunshine today, a little breezy at times, off and on as that cold front begins to arrive. It's going to start during the day today. We'll get up to about 81 degrees, but the cold front will be here by tonight, overnight low of about 50. And then it's going to be just a little bit above normal tomorrow, 78. Our forecast high Wednesday with quite a bit of wind. Our normal high this time of the year is 75, so it's still above normal, but at least it's going to be a little bit cooler. 49 for the overnight low Wednesday night. The winds will begin to die down on Thursday as we welcome June. June 1st is Thursday. Lots of sunshine, a high near 80. In fact, it looks just about perfect if you don't like it too hot, because then the heat is going to start coming our way with 84 on Friday, 88. Our forecast high on Saturday. By the time we get to Sunday, into the 90s, Monday, mid-90s, and it looks like all of next week it's going to be sunny and very, very hot. Quick programming reminder, this Friday night we will be carrying live from the Town Tennis Center the Eastmont High School commencement exercises for the class of 2023. If you can't make it, we'll have it for you right here. And that's it for us. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.